Hello and welcome to Grab and Go Kits. Today's project is going to be making a roller coaster out of paper. So if you picked up your kit from the library, you will have received a number of pieces of some colorful paper. So other materials that you're going to need for at home are going to be some tape, scotch tape or masking tape will work, a nice set of scissors, marker or pen of some sort, and that should be about it. This is a pretty simple project, but really cool because we get to kind of manipulate with paper and make a really cool project with it. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to take one piece of paper and we are going to make it our base. So to do that, we're going to take it and we're going to just fold up about 1 inch on each side. We're going to fold and unfold. Fold up here. Fold and unfold, and then do the same on the long sides. Oops, mine didn't come out too square. Alright, I'm going to refold that side. And then this long edge as well. And unfold all of them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our marker and we're just going to draw a little line where the crease is along each side here. So I'm going to draw a line there. This is right at that crease that I made when I folded the first time. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides, just like that. Okay, put our markers away. So now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut right along that line. So we're cutting right along the crease. So what our goal is, now we're going to fold these pieces in. And then these pieces are going to come around and we should be able to see a base starting to form so that we don't lose our little bowl as it rolls down the roller coaster into the tray here. So now just take some masking tape or scotch tape and break off about 4 pieces. I like to just cut one, take off one long piece and then break it into smaller pieces myself. But you can feel free to do this however you prefer. We are going to need quite a bit of tape for this project, so feel free to just cut up lots and lots of little pieces as you go along. You will not be wasting your tape, trust me. This is a very tape intensive project. Alright, so now I've got some pieces of tape here, so now I'm just going to tape along this edge and wrap it over. Trying to keep it nice and square as I can so that I get nice, as neat as possible. This isn't going to be 100% perfect. I mean, if you're a real perfectionist, you can get your ruler out, you can measure things up here. I'm not going for that. I'm going for a quick, so that you all get the idea of what to do. Alright, so this is our tray. We're going to set this, so actually just keep this right about here for now because we are going to need it at different points as we go through. So we're going to take another piece of paper. So we're going to make two tubes with the paper in different ways. So this one I'm going to hold the paper landscape and I'm going to roll it this way to make a nice wide tube. I'm also going to put it in the tray just to see. I want to make sure that it's not going to be too big or anything. So I have a nice long tube this way. Now I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to seal this up. So now this is going to be one of our, oops, there we go. This is going to be one pillar or stack to hold our roller coaster on. So next what I'm going to do, if you want to you can mark, I'm just going to do this by eye, but we're going to make little small slits on one side of this tube. So they're going to be, you know, about 3/4, half an inch, 3/4. Just try to keep them all fairly uniform all along the outside of this. You don't have to draw if you don't want to. It's good to have a guide as where you want to cut. But you're just going to make little cuts like this all along the outside. Okay. And once you have that, just go ahead and begin making your cuts. Alright. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to fold out each of these little tabs that we just made. And this is going to give us a sturdy base, something to connect, so we can connect this. Oh, I'm sorry, I went off camera there. So I just folded out each of these little tabs, as you can see. And this is going to give us something to connect our base, the pillar to the base. So now I'm going to take lots of more tape, plenty of tape, and I'm going to just tape each of these. You want to get this about in the corner. You don't want it too close to the center because, again, we're going to make another pillar, so you don't want this one pillar to take up all the room. So keep this one on one side, and then start cutting up some more tape for yourself, and just tape each of these down as best as you can. So there's my first one. Now I'm going to take another piece of paper, and this one I'm going to fold or roll it landscape, or I mean portrait. So the long side. So you're going to have one tall and one short pillar for this. And once I have that one rolled up, just make sure you have some extra tape handy. And you can tape this one shut as well. Okay, and once you have your tube, you can once again make some slits at the bottom of the tube so that you can attach it to your base. About a half inch, 3/4 of an inch, and about an inch or so between them. And then just start making your cuts along each one. Okay, and now that they're all cut, I'm going to fold each of these out to make little tabs that I will use to attach this to my base. And I'll just find a little spot off to the other side. Okay, that's standing up pretty well. And now I'm going to need a lot more tape. And just go and start taping this guy down. And just give it a good check. Make sure that this is attached well, so lift them up. All right. So now we've got our two towers that we're going to use. These are like our pillars here to create to attach our ramps to create the roller coaster. So now I have one last piece of paper. Hopefully you have more than I do. And now I am going to make. We're going to work on making our the tracks for this. So to do that, we're going to fold this in half long ways. So portrait. And then fold each of these into the middle crease that you just made, so that when you're looking at the paper, it should be divided into 4 equal sections. Right? So I have 4 equal sections. I'm just going to draw a little bit with a marker. This is each of the creases. You have 3 creases like that. So now you're just going to take your scissors and cut each of these out. So now we have 4 strips, and if you hold it up, you'll see that it's not really sturdy. This isn't really going to hold anything to be a ramp for, anything if it's just flopping around like that. So to make this a little bit sturdier, what we're going to do is we're going to make some more folds. We're just going to fold the edges into the center, just up a little bit. You don't have to go too crazy with this, but roughly about to the center for each of these. And then unfold so that these kind of stay sideways. So now, look at that. It's not flopping anymore. So now we have a structure for a ramp. So we're going to do that with each piece of paper, with each of these strips. So just go and fold into the center here. Okay, so now we have 4 tracks and 2 pillars to attach these to. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start attaching these so that these create ramps going down and around. So I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques to make these actually go around the tube. Like, what? It's a straight piece of paper. How are you going to do that? Well, it is straight, it is paper, so we're going to make it happen. Alright, so let's get some some tape, because we're going to need a lot more tape now to attach all of our tracks. And just starting off at the top here, just tape one right up on top here. This will be where our little roller coaster begins. And just try to keep in mind that you're going to attach it next to this piece, so try to just get that settled right so that you're not bending the paper too much. Okay, so that's my first little run there. So you should have gotten one other little piece of paper like this. So we're going to cut this in half. And we're going to take this up and bowl it up into a little bowl. Roll it up into a little bowl. Bowl it up into a bowl is a bit repetitive. So we're going to roll it up to a little bowl so that it's kind of alright. So I'm just going to do a test run. Let's see what happens. I'm going to put my ball here and it falls right out the end. Perfect. It means that it rolls, which means that I'm on the right track. LOL, get it? So, next we're going to attach another rail or slide from here. So right now, it kind of, we can actually go like off the edge here, right? We can kind of do something like that to attach this one. So that it cut, I don't know. Well, it depends. You can just you can cut this first one down and then just cut out and put one down there. Or if you want to be adventurous like me, actually I don't think I want to be adventurous because we do have to attach this, and that might not be the best way to attach something. So yeah, I'm going to just measure this out roughly where I want this to be and add a piece of tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this top one right about here. So I want to add this one right about there. It takes a little bit of balancing and sticky tape. Sticky tape. All right. There we go. So now I'm going to cut this one off so that the ball will land into this next rail here. And then what I'm going to need to do is tape these two together. Okay, so now I have something that looks like this. So now let me take my little ball and let's see what happens. Oh, shoot. Well, that's no good. All right, so where did I go wrong? Or what can I do differently? Not where did I go wrong, because I'm not done yet, so I haven't failed yet, right? Well, one thing is that it seems to go really fast down the first one, so that when it reaches the second one, it kind of flies. So I need to give this second one a little bit of tape here just to make it a little bit stronger. Maybe build it up a little, build up its strength a little bit. So now let's give it a shot. There it goes. All right. So now I've got my pieces here. All right. So now let's see. We need to get this guy to wrap around a little bit though. So to do that, what we're gonna do is take our marker or a pencil, and we're going to make, actually we're gonna practice on one of these here, because we have extra rail. As you can see, I'm not gonna need all these pieces to make my way around. So I'm gonna practice with this one. I'm gonna take my marker and one of these, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make 3 little lines along one of the sides of the rail and the base of the rail, all the way to the crease. So that it should look something like this. I believe this will work. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to cut along my lines. Now I do not want to cut to that crease because that will really mess me up. I just want to cut up to that crease for that rail. So I'm going to cut my 3 little lines like that. Now I'm going to fold one over the other. Let's see. This may have been too much of a curve. That's like a right angle curve. So this might have been too much, but at this point I would, see I folded them, so now I have this, but now because of my slits I can fold these in. So this is a little too much of a curve. That's like a right angle, but that's the idea that I want to have. So what I'm going to try instead is maybe something a little less angular. So I'm going to do 3 lines like this instead. cut these 3 up until the crease for that railing. Once again, you don't want to go through that, otherwise you're going to lose the integrity of your rail and it is not going to hold up very well. So now if I cut it this way and I fold, see, over and over, I have a little bit less of a curve and it's a little stronger. So that's what we're going to work with. So we're going to do these 3 so that it curves like that. So now on my piece here, I'm going to use my pencil instead of my marker. I know that you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing this way, but it'll make it easier. So I'm going to want it to wrap around, like right around here. So I'm going to try to make 3 little cuts. Here, here, and here. And get some tape ready, because you're going to want to tape right away to get this guy, to get this rail stabilized and attached to your pillar. Okay, so I am going to cut here to here. Now I'm going to start to roll and tape these on. So I'm going to roll one in and hold it and tape it. I'm going to roll another one over that one, hold it and tape that one. Oops, a little too much tape over the edge. And then I'm going to try to wrap the third one, hold and tape that. Remember to try to keep an angle. I started losing mine, so I had to kind of bending mine a little bit to keep my angle going here. And then I'm going to tape this on. It's my pillar. Ooh, I got a little, that's not going to go too well. Alright, let's try that. Alright, so I've now curved it around, but this time without breaking it. So now I'm going to try to roll again and let's see what happens. Worked. Uh-oh, I stopped. Did I lose my angle? Yeah. So I started losing my angle a little bit when I started curving this. So I'm going to have to change the angle that this is going down at. Try to get it to go down a little bit further so that I get gravity on my side. Otherwise, a roller coaster without gravity is just a train ride. There we go. Oh, and it almost even landed in there. So now I have a little bit of rail left. I got one last piece. I'm gonna maybe just cut this off. Actually, you could even, if you wanted to, wrap it around and see how far you can get this to wrap around. What I think I'm going to do though, let's see, how can I do my last rail to make it look cool? I can't. Alright, so I'm going to cut off here and attach this one here. So now, let me just see, I'm just going to make some marks with my pencil to figure out where I want to cut and where each of these will be cut. Okay, so now I'm ready to cut this one off. Should be about there. And this one's going to be right about here. get some more tape going. So once again, you don't actually have to follow exactly what I'm doing. This is just some different techniques. So play around and see what you like and what works best for your roller coaster. Let's see, I'm going to need this guy. Let me flip this around so you can see what I'm doing. Makes it a little bit more difficult. I feel like I'm doing this whole thing backwards. Let's see, so this is going to have to go here. Oops, sticky tape. And then I'm going to want to just attach these two together so that they hold up. So let's see, that's about what I've got. Let's see what happens when I put a bowl in. I'm going to roll it down, goes down. Oh no, and it fell out. All right, well, same thing that happened on that first rail when the bowl comes down. See, one thing about using curves like this is that it really does help keep the bowl stay on your piece. So again, I'm going to have to kind of strengthen this up a little bit so that the bowl doesn't just fly out like that. So now let's give it another run. And it fell into the, can you see it? I'm trying to, yep, there it is. It fell into into my base again. So that is a perfect little paper roller coaster. So experiment, and I'd love to see what you have produced yourself. So please share some. There we go. So please share what you've made yourself. I'd love to see what you come up with. I hope you had fun with this project, and we'll see you next month for another grab and go kit.